Bardown Analytics has developed the first and only interactive hockey stats platform, providing fans with dashboard applications to slice and dice statistics for every player, goalie, and franchise that have played in the National Hockey League. Signing up for access to Bardown's dashboards is available at bardownanalytics.com. First-time customers will also receive a free 2-week trial. Once you've created a Bardown profile and signed up for a membership, you can log into the Bardown Analytics application. After logging in, you'll be directed to the landing page, where you can launch any one of the 7 Bardown dashboards. In this video, we'll take a deep dive into the dashboards that focus on franchises. We'll start with the franchise dashboard. After launching the franchise dashboard, you'll see that the default selection is the Colorado Avalanche. Each time you select a different franchise, the dashboard will let you know when it is updated. Including the franchise filter, there are 8 filters that the entire dashboard operates off of. Everything below the filters changes based on the selections you make. Each filter, except for the franchise filter, is a multi-select. For the filters with more selection options, you can start typing to find the value you're looking for, instead of scrolling through the list. If at any time you want to clear the filters, hit the Clear All Selections button, located at the top of the page. We'll spend more time later seeing these filters in action, but for now let's dive into the information in the dashboard itself, starting with the franchise summary section. The franchise info table is pretty self-explanatory, showing all the details about the selected franchise's current team. As a franchise, Colorado originally played as the Quebec Nordiques before becoming the Avalanche in 1995, which means that the dashboard shows all awards and stats for both teams. If you ever want to isolate either the Nordiques or the Avalanche, use the Plain As filter. The Team Awards section is meant to show the count of awards the franchise has won, broken out by all the different awards a team can win. For more detail, you can hover over the number under each award to see additional details of the award. The individual awards section works in the same way, only it shows all the individual awards Colorado players have won. The next chart is the franchise all-time sunburst. A sunburst chart is a way to display a hierarchical data. This chart is meant to show the total games played for the Avalanche by individual players and their nationality. If I click a nationality, I can drill down to see what player positions make up the total for that nationality. Clicking the center of the chart takes me back to the top level. I can change the order of the hierarchy by using the radio button on the top left. Now I can see the nationalities within each position. The next table shows retired jerseys for the franchise, providing detail into each player's retirement, including what year their jersey was retired, what position they played, and what number they wore. The franchise stats table is the only chart in this section that's affected by the filters. The table here is also pretty self-explanatory, but if you're new to the sport of hockey and are unsure what each of these acronyms stand for, there's a glossary at the bottom of the dashboard for reference. Next up is the franchise metric deep dive section. The purpose of this section is to take a deep dive into a specific statistic for that franchise. This section is controlled by the metric filter, which defaults to wins upon launching the dashboard. The first chart in this section is the metric timeline, which shows the franchise's total for the selected metric over the seasons they've played in the league. You'll notice that some of these win total numbers for Colorado look high, for example 68 wins in 2000. This is because we're looking at both regular season and playoff wins. To focus on one or the other, use the game type filter at the top of the dashboard. The next chart is the metric 4 tree map. Tree maps work in the same way as sunburst charts. Like I mentioned before, Colorado's played as 2 teams in their history thus far, the Nordiques and the Avalanche, which is why you see 2 shapes in this chart. If I hover over the total, it shows me the number of wins that Colorado has had playing as either the Nordiques or the Avalanche, and the winning percentage. Now if I click the Colorado shape, I can see the breakout of all the wins they've earned playing as the Avalanche, but now by each coach within the team. The larger the shape represents a larger win total, whereas shapes that have a hotter color indicate a higher win per game average. To go back to the top level, click the outer shape of the chart. The next visual is the same exact information, only instead of looking at teams and coaches a franchise has played for, it focuses on the opponents. The concept here is the same, where we can see the team Colorado has recorded the most wins against is the Edmonton Oilers, while their highest winning percentage has been against Arizona. Clicking into each square here shows the results by each coach Colorado has played against for each of these teams also. You can use the radio button above the first chart to toggle the hierarchy back and forth. Now you can see that Colorado has won the most games against Scotty Bowman. The franchise metrics section is available for 19 different franchise statistics that you can change between using the metric dropdown. Here's the same information for Colorado, looking at losses. Any stats that are statistical averages, such as winning percentage, are depicted as scatter charts rather than tree maps. Next is the franchise all-time leaders section. The purpose of this section is to highlight the all-time leaders for the franchise based on the metric you've selected. The default metric here is goals. This section is made up of two visuals, a tree map and the table. The tree map works in the same way as the ones above, only the hierarchy is made up of nationalities and the players within them. If I hover over the total shape of the tree map, I can see the total goals the Avalanche have scored as a franchise. Now hovering over the shape for Canada, I can see how many of these goals were scored by Canadian players. Clicking into Canada's shape shows me all the Canadian players that have played and scored a goal for the Colorado Avalanche. You may have expected to see Joe Sakic at the top of this list, but did you know that Michel Goulet had a higher goal per game average? The table to the right of the tree map displays the top 10 players by statistics selected. The player metrics section is available for 17 different statistics between skaters and goalies. Let's take a look at Colorado's all-time winningest goalies. The detailed stats section is a combination of miscellaneous stats packaged together in one area. The first chart in the group is the Shot GeoRank. The default for this chart is focused on goals scored for the selected franchise. Each circle on this chart represents a goal that Colorado scored since 2013. Hovering over a single circle will show you all the information about that goal. Using the shot type filter, you can focus on goals that Colorado has scored by a specific shot type, for example, wrist shots. Now using the radio button above the chart, I can change this chart to focus on goals allowed by Colorado since 2013. The donut chart to the right of the rink map shows the percentage breakdown of location for each of the goals. It also updates in unison with the shot type filter. If I change the shot type to slap shots, the donut chart will change drastically to show the scoring location to be more dispersed. The donut chart will also update based on the selection of goals for or goals allowed. The rest of this section is made up of tables showing various stats, including goal differentials by period and in total, shootouts, penalty shots, the franchise record when scoring first or trailing in a game, face-offs, and a breakdown of goals, shots, and shot percentage by shot type. The final section in this dashboard is a traditional look at stats by season. The table is sortable by each statistic, meaning you can easily see Colorado's best and worst seasons in each category. Now that we've walked through each component in the dashboard, let's go back to the filters. These filters alter every visualization in the dashboard, meaning you can come up with endless scenarios to see Colorado's stats by. As an example, let's take a look at the franchise's performance for the past 3 regular seasons, playing against the Jets, Predators, and Golden Knights. Scrolling down, you can see the entire dashboard has changed to focus on the data we've queried above. Like I mentioned before, you can use the Clear All Selections button to reset these filters. Next, we'll look at the franchise matchup dashboard. To navigate to this dashboard, use the link at the top of the page. This dashboard allows users to compare franchises head-to-head matchups. The default selections for this dashboard are the Washington Capitals and Pittsburgh Penguins. The sections underneath go into further detail of the top players and goalies from each team. For example, Mario Lemieux played 90 games against the Capitals and tallied 151 points, leaving everyone else on both teams in the dust. Each stat category in each table is sortable. There are 6 filters on the dashboard. The game type and season filters control the entire dashboard, meaning if I select regular season, all the stats in the dashboard for both teams will be focused only on the regular season. The team and home and away filters you see above each section alter only the stats for that team. When I change the home away filter above the Capitals to home, I am now only looking at games in which the Capitals have played the Penguins on home ice. You'll notice that the Penguins section did not change. And that's a wrap for the franchise dashboards, brought to you by Bardown Analytics. Bardown has a lot more going on than just this dashboard. Check out all our other dashboards via our YouTube channel, or sign up for a membership to explore each dashboard for free for 2 weeks.